through it with Jalen, but multiverse. This is spoiler stuff. Like multiversal Spider Verse stuff is happening in Spider-Man 2 PS5. Jalen's a little bit ahead of me. I saw it with him. He used Pete for it. I'm using Miles to see if there's any difference, but basically everything I thought about after Across the Spider-Verse seems to have been confirmed, and I'm just now getting to that part on my stream. So I'm about to play it through. We're about to see some things. We're going to talk about it because they're basically confirming some things that I've been thinking about for a while after, since Across the Spider-Verse. And what if they mention, some kind of crossover? They mentioned the crossover because we saw Insomniac Peter in Across the Spider-Verse. I wrote an article literally before this game came out wondering if they were going to mention any kind of, crossover with the Spider-Verse now that, from the other side, basically. So here we go. I got the last Spider Bot. That's the mission you got to do that's the multiversal side mission, basically. It's the Spider Bots. There's 42 of them, I think. Is that how many there is? There's a good number of them. And yeah, it's like 42.
It's an address. Looks like an old subway terminal. Been out of service since the 80s.
Old subway terminal.
Nah, doesn't have a trappy vibe.
What kind of vibe then?
I have no idea. And that's what scares me.
Alright, so I can go to it with both Miles and Peter. That's interesting. That's interesting because there was not another. There was
I'm
not.
not gonna lie. So far, most of the dialogue is the same.
It's the same. Okay.
Most of the dialogue is the same. I'm not gonna.
Okay. All right. Let me get a different suit. I need to be in classic type suit for this. Right, because I think I remember some of the dialogue in yours. It's the same so far. My whole question with this thing was, Miles in Across the Spider-Verse is the anomaly to them. So if they're introducing Spider-Verse stuff, you'll see. We're going to talk about it.
Almost had him.
But that's way out there.
At least with robots, I don't have to hold back that much.
I'm so interested of why you can do this with Miles too. Because if you know Spider-Verse, if you know the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, you know what Miles' situation is. And there was no iteration, there was no other variants of Miles in Across the Spider-Verse. All those Peters know Miles. When we know Miles has other variations of him. So, here we go. That's literally the portal. That is the portal.
You seeing this?
Bro, what the hell is happening?
Look at this, a spider hero.
A spider
We're
hero.
all saved.
Hi. Who are you?
Me? I'm just a bartender who does favors for people.
It says Delilah down there, guys. It says Delilah. Remember that name. We'll talk about it afterwards.
And I've learned learned that rogue spider bots are dangerous and bad for business.
Rogue spider bots are dangerous and bad for business. Look at that portal, y'all.
Thank you, Spider-Man. We can always count on you to do the right thing.
You're welcome.
And if Miguel comes looking for these, tell him finders keepers.
Wait, who's Miguel?
And if Miguel comes looking for these, tell him finders keepers.
I wish I knew.
Okay. Now. Alright. So Jalen did it with Peter. I just did it with Miles. The same exact dialogue, right?
Same exact thing, yeah.
Same exact thing. Okay, cool. So basically that's Across the Spider. That's Delilah, and in Across the Spider-Verse, her name was Lila. The assistant of Miguel her name was Lila. So putting that connection there, that's probably what Delilah looks like in her universe. Or Lila, what she looks like in her universe. AI assistant we saw in Across the Spider-Verse. She said Miguel's gonna, if he comes looking, tell him finders keepers. Cool. So the guess is that's the AI assistant. The portal, definitely Across Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse. We've seen that portal before. That is literally confirming Across the Spider-Verse and the crossover with Across the Spider-Verse, basically. Now, the other thing was Peter said the same exact thing. Who's Miguel? Right? Meaning this is happening before the movie. The movie, because this... Right, because he doesn't know who Miguel is. This is happening before.
Yeah, because we saw Insomniac Peter at Spider-Man Citadel.
We saw him at
he
the
knows.
right. Yeah. Yeah. He's part of the Spider Society.
Right. Yeah.
So
exactly.
he would know who Miguel is. The fact that he doesn't here is proof that this is before the movie. That's basically what that's saying. Or
this was a side mission, bro.
Yeah, this is a side mission.
And this is a side mission.
Unless they're saying that the Insomniac Peter in the Spider-Verse movie is a variant of this Peter, which I don't think so. Because why would you?
I don't think so.
Because why would you put this in here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why would you throw this in here?
I don't think there's any variants of this Peter. I think
Peter.
This Peter is a variant of OG Comics 616 Peter Parker.
Right. I agree. So that's huge. Like, I was freaking out when Jalen was doing it, and I tuned into his stream. And now that, this confirmed, it's the same thing with Miles and Peter. My whole thing is like, if you know Across the Spider-Verse, spoiler if you want to call it that, but Miles is the anomaly. So they also keep everything from Miles, which is why I was interested in seeing if Miles could even do this side mission and go, have the crossover with the Delilah there. So Miles is the anomaly. And there's so many other variations of Peter Parker Spider-Man, but Miles Spider-Man are nowhere to be found. And we know that there's other variations of him too. I think he's also in some of like the cartoon shows as well. Yeah. He's in some of the cartoons. So there's other variations of Miles Morales, including specifically Insomniac Games. My first thought when watching the movie was like, okay, so they have Insomniac Peter, no Insomniac Miles. Why would you do one without the other? Probably because you're trying to keep Miles Spider-Man away from Miles Spider-Man, because obviously they're going to help each other out. And, I wrote a whole article about this literally before the game dropped, basically questioning if there was going to be a Spider-Verse crossover, between the game and the movies. And this basically just did it. And I'm ecstatic right now. I'm stoked because literally everything I've been thinking about is like confirmed. So The crossover happened, and I'm excited. Like, I was tearing up a little bit when I was watching on Jalen's stream, tearing up a little bit because, man, they confirmed it, man. It's so interesting that it's happening, or this is happening before the movie. That's so interesting. And, you know, basically my article, I was speculating, could they possibly, in Beyond the Spider-Verse, introduce Miles to another variation of Miles Morales Spider-Man? Because he's been introduced to, obviously, a Prowler self of him. But if he was able to see other Miles Morales Spider-Man, to basically confirm, like, you know, this, you know, he isn't a mess up. What he's doing is right. You know, he's supposed to be a Spider-Man. The anomaly thing is just a Miguel O'Hara thing. You know, then it would be cool for him to, you know, see another Spider-Man and be like, okay, like, I'm not the only one out here. I'm not alone in this thing. There's other variations of me as Spider-Man. So, like, it would be really cool to bring that all together, and, like, this game be the, you know, the crossover little part in between. That would be so cool. Like, Insomniac Miles being, like, a part of the Sonyverse Spider-Verse movies. That's insane to me. I just had to record this because that scene was crazy to me as we're doing Spider-Man 2. But that's all I gotta say. I'm super excited that the crossover happened. I literally wrote 2 crossover articles and dropped them the day before the game came out, and I'm just hyped that they did this. I'm hyped. So that's all I got for you guys. TAT, the alternate timeline, Dennis Smith. Super smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you will. And if you want to see those articles, I'm going to put those articles in the description below too. So I'm dropping those articles in the description if you want to read what I was thinking before the game even came out. That'll be there. But appreciate you tuning in. I'm going to continue to live stream from here, but I wanted to record that for you guys. Peace.